I got this. I got this. Okay, we're good. Okay, so we finished your spiritual power yesterday. We are starting a new design for living today. And I debated about reading the foreword and the introduction. And then I read the first 4 lines of the foreword and was like, yeah, we're going to read the foreword. So we're going to read the foreword today, the introduction tomorrow. We're actually going to start the book on Christmas. So that will be the Christmas gift, right? We're going to actually start the book. Because the foreword and the introduction are fairly long and I don't want to short shrift them. I'm not sure how we're going to tackle this book, because it's broken down into small sections. So what we might do is read like a couple of sections each day, or maybe we'll only do one. I don't know. They're very short. So, we're just going to figure it out as we go. But let's do the housekeeping really quick before we do this. And all the housekeeping is me reminding you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email, info@creativelife.org. If you will email that and get on the list, you get 1 email a week. Tells you what's going on for the week and the month. The hot links are hot, meaning click here now means it. And it is a blind CC. Nobody's going to see your email. And when I say 1 email a week, I mean that because it's a real person doing it. He doesn't have time for more than that. The only reason you would get more than 1 is if something unusual happens. We live on the Gulf Coast. It's usually weather related. Okay. And you can almost see my shirt. So I'm just it says cuddly as a cactus and it has the Grinch on it. Because the Grinch is my favorite Christmas character. Followed quickly by Gonzo as Charles Dickens in The Muppets Christmas Carol. But I also love the Ghost of Christmas Present in The Muppets Christmas Carol. But here we are. So, and Jim Carrey did a really good Grinch. Obviously, the original is in the running. But you know what? The animated one with Benedict Cumberbatch, I really think that one's my favorite. Partly because Cindy Lou Who is so earnest in that. She wants to help her mother. And I just loved the way that story, the way that story rolled out. It was a very sweet, fairly modern take on it. So, yeah, I commend it to you if you haven't seen it. All right. But we are doing this. And where was that? We were doing, oh yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the social media really quickly. And, because we don't monetize the social media. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead is to go, engage with the pages, like, subscribe, follow based on which platform it is, and then, react, comment, and share on the individual posts. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark, and I'm running Rev Ryan across the social medias that I am on. It is a free and easy way for you to support the center. I mean, the whole goal of social media is for more people to see your stuff, right? Well, the more you engage with our pages, it bumps us in the algorithm. So we appreciate it. All right. So, new design for living. It, is, let's see. I'm guessing, I don't know. I'm not going to guess. I haven't looked it up. So let's just get into this. Okay. Because the acknowledgements also acknowledge Gustav Stromberg and Omar John Farid, MD, for their suggestions relative to those portions of this book touching their fields of endeavor. So, there's also a special gratitude due to Gertrude Dooley and Helen Carmack of the Science of Mind magazine for their assistance. So I suspect that this is another one where it's his Science of Mind magazine's articles. I don't know that. We'll find out. This is me jumping into a book without doing the research on the book beforehand. But it's Ernest Holmes, so we're good, right? Okay, so we're doing a new design for living. This is the foreword, which was written by Kathy Hearn. Reverend Dr. Kathy Hearn. So, I've met her. She's pretty incredible. So, foreword. How thrilled am I that a new edition of A New Design for Living is being published. My own beloved and well-used copy is missing its cover, and pages come loose in my hands as I review the underlined and marginal notes I made so many years ago. A New Design for Living was written by Ernest Holmes near the end of his long and distinguished career as a spiritual philosopher, author, minister, speaker, and teacher. Published the year before he made his transition, it offers the fullness of his thinking about and the application of the principles of science and mind to the conscious creation of a new and renewed life. In the book, we witness a clarity of thought and precision of expression that make every sentence important, meaningful, valuable to take within, contemplate, and then prove in daily living. We get here some of the best of what Ernest Holmes offers to the spiritual awakening of humankind. A New Design for Living came to me in the early 1980s when I was a new student on the spiritual path, questing for a relationship with God, harmony with myself, and the discovery of my life's work. It was a balm to my hurting and searching soul to read for the first time what has now become the living spiritual reality of my being, thinking, and functioning. That a new design for living begins with a willingness to cut ourselves loose from undesirable things in the past, including habits of thought and behavior that have caused forms of limitation and unhappiness to coalesce around us. Holmes's words, "You can make the change and step out of what may have been an undesirable path into a bright future," first called me to move beyond resignation over what I had considered to be unchangeable conditions and situations. He then indicated that the second step was to enlarge my viewpoint and expand what I thought was possible for me. After 30 years of active practice of the science of mind, I see that all of the life changes I have made began exactly this way. What I have always loved about Ernest Holmes is that the principles he teaches are highly spiritual. They acquaint us with the abiding reality of God and the divine dimension of our life and individual being. At the same time, they are completely practical and applicable to everyday situations. For me, this has always been a deeply satisfying integration of emphasis. Through Holmes's work, we are guided to truly live the spiritual life every moment and in every situation. A New Design for Living opened in and for me the realization that daily life can and should be lived as spiritual practice, a matter of applying spiritual ideas to the things that arise in our experience, and what wonderful practice it has been to remember all circumstances that this is a spiritual universe in which the presence, power, intelligence, and love of God prevail, and that I am one with all that God is, to acknowledge the unalterable wholeness of my innate divine being, regardless of missteps taken or experiences of loss or challenge. To know that my spiritual mission in life is to express the truth and to take responsibility for what moves through my consciousness. Understanding that consistent thought in alignment with good harnesses a power that reveals a greater good in my life experience. In the pages of this book are countless important spiritual realizations that open the doorways of our perception and usher us into a new and expanded world of possibility. Here are a few of them and she's going to bullet point them for us. Behind all that we see is the invisible reality of God, out of which all things are made. Our thought is the determining factor of our lives, and we can practice active right thinking to produce definite results. Life is done unto us as we believe, and our beliefs can be changed to be more accepting of the good we desire. To the degree that we cooperate with and entertain good in our thoughts, the entire nature of the universe is for us and nothing is against us. The only limitation we have are the ones we have created and accepted. I think that that's an important point, that we have created and accepted, because sometimes the limitations that we are operating under aren't ones that we've created, but we have accepted them. So that's a really interesting point. So I look forward to exploring that more. Okay, last one. We need to place a new evaluation on ourselves, filled with wonder, humility, awe, and reverence for the life that flows in and through us and all things. With these new ideas, I began to actively change my thoughts about myself, taking to heart and putting into practice Holmes' admonishment that we should have respect for ourselves, confidence in ourselves, and an assurance that all is right with us in our world. Clear, definite mental pictures of what we want in our lives. I sat and wrote positive affirmation statements each day, accepting the good I desired as if it were already done. The first one, which was so very important to me, concerned my work in the world. I wrote over and over again, I work with people of like mind on a world-transforming project. I allowed limiting, contradicting, and interfering thoughts that I had about the reality of this affirmation to surface in my awareness, and then transform these false ideas into more affirmations, accepting my wholeness and my good. I wrote out my ideal scene, what my life would look and feel like as I did the meaningful work my heart desired. I read this scene daily, establishing the truth of this accomplished and experienced. Within a few months, I was hired to be on staff with Terry Cole Whitaker Ministries, and my life in spiritual work began. Oh, and Jesse loves Terry Cole Whitaker. He quotes her all the time. So that's really cool to know about Kathy, Reverend Kathy, or Dr. Hearn, if you prefer. That affirmation, written so many years ago, has been like a prayer wheel spinning in the center of all that I do, and its creative agency continues to this day. For the last 30 years, I have walked an expanding path of self-expression and service. From those early days on staff to beginning my own church and growing it with lots of help, to over 1,000 people on a Sunday, to the position I now hold as community spiritual leader of United Centers for Spiritual Living, the good I accepted for myself has moved from the innermost to the outermost, from a deep inner realization to a lived reality that has taken me around the United States and to many places in the world to join with others in mutual service to spiritual living and the unfolding of life on our planet. Because I have successfully lived the principles of mental science and conscious creation, I've been able to teach these principles with confidence. As I often say to groups and individuals, if I can do it, you can do it. This is the truth I know. A new design for living can guide you in your creation of a life that matches the deepest convictions of your soul and fulfills your heart's desire. I suggest reading the book cover to cover and indicating for yourself the sentences and passages that produce in you the aha experience, that's why my highlighter is right here, of new realization. Then it is helpful to scan the table of contents or index to focus on specific topics to explore more fully. Ernest Holmes' summaries of the main points of each chapters are good doorways to new awareness and indications for immediate practice. Chapter 23 offers suggestions for this practice as well as powerful affirmations. However you choose to read the book, begin to work with the material. Start your life designing, learn about the creative power of your thought, and harness it through spiritual mind treatment. Be open to changing all that you have thought about God, yourself, and life, and open to your divine birthright of freedom, health, abundance, and joy. Prove these ideas and principles in your own life experience so that you also may stand as an opening through which the good of God finds expression. I love that. Ernest Holmes writes that if it is heaven we desire, it is ours for the asking, ours for the thinking, today, right now, not at some future time. Heaven is what we make, and we are making our share of it as we make the best of every moment. Holmes completes a new design for living with these words. A great adventure lies ahead of you. Discover within yourself that divine spark which may be fanned into a glowing flame, giving you warmth and security. The light from it can certainly and surely guide you to the greatest experience any person can have, the experience of the presence of God, to whom and through whose law all things are possible. May you go with God. I feel so blessed to have been guided by the culmination of the realization and expression that a new design for living offers. Enjoy your journey and the new life of your own design. Kathy Hearn. And she didn't use any of her titles, because at the time when this was published, which now I'm curious when it was, so originally it was copyrighted in 1959, and it looks like it was reissued in 2010. So she would have been spiritual director in 2010. And it is currently 2025, at the end of 2025. So, yeah. But I wasn't going to read it because, it's somebody else's words, but so is the whole book. But then I started reading, and I was like, oh, you know what? And I've met Reverend Kathy Hearn. She's incredible. She's just like being in her presence. It's really powerful. It's really powerful. So then I was like, you know what? I am going to read this, and I can't find the sentence that I was going to highlight. So I'm going to wrap this up, and then I'll find it. So you're not listening to me just babble on. And besides, I've got stuff to do. Today is my last full day of work. And I'm not sure if I'm working tomorrow or not. It depends on how Betsy is feeling. So, so, all right. So now so tomorrow we will do the introduction, which I think is done by William Willis. I keep wanting to call him William, and it's Willis Kinnear. And then, like I said, on Christmas Day, we'll actually start the Ernest Holmes part of it. So I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a take care of business day. I hope you're, if not done, getting close to done day. A you got this day, a drink plenty of water day, a go enjoy the sunshine day. It's going to be 80 degrees here today. So like I said, drink plenty of water day, cuddle your fur babies day, tell somebody you love them day, hug somebody today, anybody today, have some fun day, i.e., I also have silly antlers to wear, day. So good day. A do what you got to do day, a make sure you take a break day, a give yourself some grace day, a give somebody else some grace day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, because occasionally it is, I understand, especially during the holidays, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in motion, God in action, a brilliant light, a divine spark, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. My favorite part of that sentence. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. So explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. It's all the divine knows. And that's the secret there. And with that, knowing that, anything's possible. Like, the divine knows you to be good. From there, anything is possible. All right, beloveds. So, yes, I will be here and do this around 9-ish tomorrow, because I don't know what my plans are tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Oh, wait. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. Take care of yourself. Know that you